Meet Mildred. Mildred is a sweet, funny, and outgoing guinea pig we adopted on August 3rd, 2024. She's a happy and friendly little piggy, but her situation hasn't always been a good one. We were mourning the loss of one of our beloved rats, Oziana, or Ozzy for short. We were looking to adopt another rat when we stumbled across a Craigslist ad with an adorable guinea pig who appeared to be in need of a good home with room to run and play. So we started looking at the ad, and as you can see in the photos, she looked like she was in a very small cage. It didn't look very clean. They had other animals, rabbits and what have you, in very small cages too. As much as we wanted to rescue every animal in that house, we really only had room for Mildred. We met Mildred's previous owners outside their home. They were a very nice couple, and we're glad that they reached out, but they just didn't seem to really know how to take really good care of animals. But you can see here on the right home, the bowl that she's eating out of is just covered in what appears to be poop. Her cage and her as well smelled really strongly of poop, pee, and cigarette smoke. So when we got Mildred home, my wife took her upstairs to give her a bath, and I decided to clean the cage. We don't have any intention on ever using this cage to keep her in, but thought it might be a good transport cage for when we need to take her to the vet or something like that. As you can see, the poop is just caked in there. There's poop and what have you all over her food bowl. I don't know when the last time this cage has been cleaned, but it clearly has been a while. So I decided to clean it up just in case we ever needed it. And as you can see, there's poop and peas just caked on there. I'm trying to break it loose here. I should have used a scraper or something like that. But it certainly is not ideal for a guinea pig or any animal to live in. It's too small for one, but it was just filthy. Here's Mildred just before her bath. You can see her skin looks irritated. It's a little red. She's got some hair loss under her arms. And of course, she smelled really bad, so we wanted to make sure we got her a nice bath. So here's Mildred taking a bath. We thought maybe she had ringworm and mites. She was really bloated when we got her. We thought maybe she was pregnant. Before we got her, she did have a steady diet of Walmart pellets, which we all know is not good for guinea pigs. Unfortunately, she was used for breeding. She had two previous litters. Her last litter of babies was about 4 months before we adopted her. She had a fungal PCR test for ringworm and a skin scraping to test for mites based on our vet's recommendation. We're afraid maybe she had a bacteria infection, but she just had a skin irritation due to living in such a dirty cage. Her previous owner actually told us that Mildred was pampered. She said if she gets stressed, she'll chew on herself, and that's why she can't have babies. Here's Mildred's old cage, the one we got her in, and it's nice and clean now. And this is Mildred's quarantine cage. And of course, there's little Mildred herself. Because we have two other guinea pigs in the house, we had to quarantine Mildred for 2 weeks to be on the safe side. We kept her upstairs while the other piggies were downstairs in the living room. Unfortunately, within a few days, she went into GI stasis, which is fatal for guinea pigs if not dealt with immediately. We believe this was brought on by stress and a change of diet. With her going to a new home, the bath, going to the vet, combined with switching from Walmart pellets to Oxbow pellets, and having an unlimited access to hay, but she wasn't used to having hay, this is a lot for this little piggy to handle. When we first got her, we took her to the vet to give her an exam and x-rays to check her lungs for respiratory issues, check preventatively for bladder stones because guinea pigs are prone to those, and we had limited information on her history, and her abdomen was also bloated, so we wanted to make sure she wasn't pregnant. Luckily, she was not pregnant and her bloating was from a poor diet consisting primarily of high-fat pellets. When she developed GI stasis, we took her back to the vet and we treated her with subQ fluids, motility drugs to keep her gut moving, pain medicine, and syringe feeding with critical care. We continued this treatment for about a week. Luckily, she loved the syringe feeding and took to it on her own without us having to force feed her. Once she recovered from the GI stasis, we very slowly started introducing her to vegetables. After that, we took her for her third vet visit for a recheck for GI stasis and skin issues. With her now in a clean environment and on a good diet, the redness of her skin under her arms cleared up, the hair she lost in her armpits grew back, the bloating in her belly began to go down. Here is Mildred today. She has plenty of room to run and play. She is really a happy pig. She lives next door to two other female guinea pigs that we have. The other two that we have, we used to have together, but they're quite a bit older than Mildred. And they got along well at first, but then as they get older, they really started getting aggressive with each other, started chasing each other around. They were constantly fighting and just couldn't have any peace with each other. And so we eventually just had to separate them. All three guinea pigs are separate, but side by side. Obviously, Mildred is a cute little piggy, but one thing that we think is really, really cute about her is the little flat top she has on the top of her head. Um, it reminds us of Dolph Lundgren, the 80s star from Rocky IV and a bunch of other action movies from back in the day. She just reminds us of him, but she's a lot cuter though. And here we have Mildred running and playing. She's very curious. She came from a place of having very little space to having all this room that you see now. Her cage, initially, we put her in a 2x6 CNC cage, which comes out to about 16 square feet. It's not 2 feet by 6 feet. It's actually, each grid is 14 inches, so it comes out to about 16 square feet. Then we decided that we wanted to expand that area, just to give her some extra area to run. And it was supposed to be temporary, but we decided, you know what, let's just make it permanent. This is her original cage here, but we wanted to give her that extra space. Like I said, it was originally temporary, but we decided to just go ahead and do it. It's just the two of us in the house and our animals, so we have the room, so we decided to give it up to her. Well, thank you for coming along with us on this journey. Mildred is a special little girl, and we're so happy that she came into our lives.